Many people have wondered for ages whether or not the famous statue conceals a hidden chamber. Modern archaeology and technology may provide the answers we've been looking for. An exploration of the history and mystery of one of the world's most recognizable landmarks, as revealed via ancient artifacts and forgotten literature. Discover the secret of the ancient time capsule buried beneath the Great Sphinx of Egypt in this in-depth video exploration of the site only on The Unknown Facts. Over 118 pyramids can be found throughout Egypt, drawing in tourists, mathematicians, and archaeologists who are all trying to decipher the mysteries of these man-made wonders. The Great Pyramid of Giza is a symbol of Egypt's cultural heritage, and its construction dates back more than 4,500 years. The pyramid is one of a trio of tombs for ancient Egyptian kings called the Greater Pyramid Complex, which also includes the Khufu and Khafre pyramids and the Greater Pyramid of Menkaure. Khufu, or the Great Pyramid as it is more widely known, stands at a whopping 481 feet tall, making it by far the tallest of the three pyramids at Giza. Decades have been spent by researchers trying to figure out the Great Pyramid's engineering and its purpose. In 2015, researchers from France, Japan, and Egypt collaborated on a project called Scan Pyramids to discover multiple non-invasive methods of exploring the Great Pyramid's interior. Researchers in 2017 were able to use particle physics to take a look inside. Their research uncovered a previously unknown universe full of hidden passages and hidden rooms. The most startling find was a huge, nearly 100-foot-long hole found directly above the pyramid's Great Gallery. Another smaller hole was discovered beyond the building's northern facade. But what exactly is between these two gaps? To yet, researchers haven't been able to solve this mystery. A history of the royal. The history of the pyramid is just as interesting as the intriguing puzzle that can be found on the inside of the structure. Ancient Egyptian civilization had a significant impact on the appearance of ancient constructions. Pharaohs, who were thought to have attained the status of gods in the afterlife, had the pyramids constructed in their honor so that they would always be remembered. Massive pyramid tombs were constructed and stocked with the necessities that the ruler would require to maintain their lifestyle in the next world. This was done in order to get the ruler ready for their voyage to the next world. In the year 2550 BC, the Egyptian pharaoh Khufu began construction on the Great Pyramid of Giza. Approximately 2.3 million granite and limestone pieces were used in the construction of the pyramid. The burial chambers were reinterpreted in light of the ancient beauty that surrounded them. During this ancient period, pyramids were often constructed on top of underground burial chambers. However, the body of the main building of Khufu's pyramid contained not just the king's chamber, but also a smaller room designated for the queen. It was his son Khafre who went on to construct the second pyramid at Giza around the year 2520 BC, while Pharaoh Menkaure constructed the third pyramid sometime around the year 2490 BC. The combination of the three pyramids results in a structure that is alluring and mysterious in equal measure. Examining the ancient marvel in detail. The Great Pyramid will be scanned using cutting-edge technology, according to the researchers. According to the latest research report, sophisticated scans using cosmic rays in the form of muons will be utilized in order to see inside the structure. The collision of high-energy particles such as cosmic rays with the atoms that make up the Earth's atmosphere results in the production of muons. Muons are more powerful than X-rays and are the elementary particles that are produced as a result. Muon tomography is a technique that generates a three-dimensional image through more opaque materials by using cosmic rays that contain muons. This technology will be utilized to accomplish the goal of penetrating far into the structure and gaining a distinct understanding of what is contained within the pyramid. Muon tomography was used during the Scan Pyramids project, which was ultimately responsible for the first finding of the two voids. The researchers, however, note that the new endeavor will incorporate a telescope system that is 100 times more powerful than the technology that was used in 2017. According to what the researchers claimed in their study, it will photograph muons from practically all angles and will, for the first time, provide a true tomographic image of such a massive structure. The document lays out that the majority of the data will be taken from the outside and along the base of the Great Pyramid. This is due to the vast size of the muon detectors, which are described in the study. The crew will be able to collect data from every angle thanks to this, and they will be able to potentially capture even the smallest artifacts that are buried within the chambers. Although this research has the potential to shed light on the mystery surrounding the voids, its development is not yet complete. The Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities has given the team recent permission to proceed with the scans, so they can now do so. Nevertheless, extra cash is required in order to construct the apparatus and position it next to the Great Pyramid, a process that might take at least 2 years. There are still many unanswered problems, and the Great Pyramid is believed to be the location of the solutions. Lehner has been conducting field study at Giza for the majority of the 37 years since his initial visit, earning him a place among the world's top Egyptologists and Sphinx scholars. Hawass is a close friend and regular collaborator. He is the Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, which manages public access to the Sphinx, the pyramids, and other government-owned sites and antiquities. Lehner used his archaeological detective skills to investigate the Giza Plateau and its surrounding area of 2 square miles, which includes pyramids, temples, quarries, and thousands of tombs. His findings lent credence to the theory that the Sphinx and other parts of the Giza complex are part of a massive sacred machine built to harness the power of the sun and maintain the earthly and divine order. Even though he lost up on finding the mythical Atlantean library long ago, it is interesting to think that his early explorations led him to the discovery of a lost city. Workers on the Giza Plateau uncovered the limestone used to sculpt the Sphinx in the shape of a horseshoe when they excavated a quarry there. It is one of the oldest and largest megalithic monuments in the world, standing roughly 66 feet tall and 240 feet in length. Photos and sketches really couldn't have adequately prepared me for the actual size. Standing between its paws, each twice my height and longer than a city bus, was a sobering experience. I suddenly felt what a mouse goes through when it's cornered by a cat. There has been a complete loss of memory regarding its former name. The title Sphinx probably didn't appear in use until some 2,000 years after the monument was erected, but in Greek mythology, the lion has a human head. Although the Giza Pyramid complex contains hundreds of tombs with hieroglyphic inscriptions, none of them refer to the statue. Egyptologist James Allen from Brown University states, "The Egyptians didn't write history, so we have no strong evidence for what its creators felt the Sphinx was. Certainly something heavenly, presumably the figure of a ruler, but beyond that is anyone's speculation." Inscriptions from the time period speak to Ruti, a twin lion god who sat at the gateway to the underworld and guarded the horizon where the sun rose and set, but the meaning of the monument remains a mystery. An enormous cavern can be found on the inside of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The room's function is unknown, and it was shut up when the pyramid was finished being constructed some 4,500 years ago. However, some people believe that it may have been a hidden burial chamber for the pharaoh Khufu, who was responsible for ordering the construction of the pyramid. Using muon tomography, a group of researchers going by the name Scan Pyramids scanned the Great Pyramid of Giza in 2017. Muon particles are negatively charged subatomic particles that are created when cosmic rays smash with atoms in the upper atmosphere of the Earth at a rate of approximately 10,000 per square meter every minute. These elementary particles can keep a quasi-linear trajectory while going through hundreds of meters of stone before decaying or being absorbed, the team explains in their study, which was published in Nature. Like X-rays, which can penetrate the body and allow bone imaging, these elementary particles can keep a quasi-linear trajectory. A muon detector is able to differentiate between cavities and stone by recording the position and the direction of each muon that travels its sensor surface, says phys.org. All of this is just a roundabout way of saying that they looked into the Great Pyramid using a pretty clever method, one that involved cosmic rays no less, and once inside, they discovered a room that had never been explored by anyone before. The crew reported their finding in a piece of writing as follows: "We announced the discovery of a big void, with a cross-section similar to that of the Grand Gallery and a minimum length of 30 meters placed above the Grand Gallery. Since the 19th century, this discovery represents the first large interior structure to be located within the Great Pyramid." They gave it the pretty fitting name of Huge Vacuum, and they validated it by utilizing 3 separate muon detection techniques. Although there have been hypotheses put up, it has not yet been determined what the void was supposed to be used for. An archaeologist from the University of Cambridge named Kate Spence told National Geographic that the empty space could be the result of how the pyramid was built. According to Spence, an internal ramp was used to move roof blocks into position, and afterward, the space was either left empty or loosely filled with rubble. One of the hypotheses that have been proposed to explain the function of the room is that it was Khufu's hidden burial chamber. During the initial opening and exploration of the pyramids in the 19th century, researchers discovered a number of chambers, one of which had a sarcophagus that was believed to contain Khufu himself. This sarcophagus was located in one of the pyramids. However, when the sarcophagus was opened, it revealed that it was devoid of its contents. The assumption that the remains were taken has been around for a long time, and it hasn't changed. However, prior to the discovery of the fourth chamber, people had speculated that there was a hidden chamber that held Khufu's mummy. This speculation came long before the chamber was actually found. In 2004, two French amateur Egyptologists proposed a theory that there was an additional chamber by using ground-penetrating radar and architectural research to substantiate their assertions. They believed that the chamber could have been used for ceremonial purposes. The two contended that, contrary to popular belief, the pyramid was not painstakingly sketched out in advance, but rather developed organically as construction progressed. It was hypothesized by the architect of the pair, Gilles Dormion, that the pyramid was altered when the builders recognized that certain chambers in the pyramid would not be able to support the weight of the burial sarcophagus. In the king's chamber, there are enormous granite beams that have massive fractures in them. These flaws, which have been ascribed to earthquakes that have occurred since the pyramid was constructed, are there. On the other hand, he thinks that the fissures appeared while the pyramids were being constructed, because there were remnants of ancient plaster were discovered inside them. In 2004, Dormion stated the notion that the entire dilemma of the Great Pyramid may be summed up by this theory. Khufu had 3 funeral chambers built for himself. In other words, the theory suggests that Khufu had 3 burial chambers constructed for himself. The first one was never completed, the second one was open for business, and the third one was broken. As a result, Khufu was laid to rest in the second tomb. Amateurs thought that the chamber where Khufu was interred extended from a hidden corridor from the Queen's chamber, fairly far away from where the big void was subsequently discovered. However, until we get a better look at the void itself, it is perhaps a little too optimistic to assume that it is a hidden burial chamber for the king rather than a ramp used in the construction of the pyramid. The good news is that we might get a better look at it soon. In 2022, a group of people revealed their intentions to photograph the pyramid utilizing more advanced technology. The team writes in their proposal, "We plan to field a telescope system that has upwards of 100 times the sensitivity of the equipment that has recently been used at the Great Pyramid. This system will image muons from nearly all angles and will produce a true tomographic image of such a large structure for the very first time." The group stated that the construction of the detectors would take approximately 2 years after they secured money for the project. That's all for the video today. If you enjoyed watching the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.